Christmas is traditionally a season of good cheer when we cherish our families, enjoy every moment spent with them. So it may surprise you, perhaps not if you've had some bad experiences in the past, to hear that January is the busiest time of year for relationship counsellors.
Yeah, some cynics even call the first week of the new year divorce week. So what causes the tension and how can it be avoided? Ayesha Vardag is a divorce lawyer and Philip Hodson is a relationship expert. And a very good morning to you both.
Hi.
Ayesha, I thought it was a cliche that families break down at Christmas time, but statistically, is it actually true?
Statistically, it goes up by up to about 50% over this period, with apparently January the 7th being the worst day of all, because families are under tremendous pressure over the Christmas period. There's a sense that what your family life is at Christmas it's a test of what it's like for the whole year, and with increased alcohol, contact tension with extended families, everybody being forced together, driving around the country between relatives. It's all exhausting, and it causes a lot of the tensions that are already there to bubble up. And
I'm curious, actually, why did you say the 7th? Is that the date it's registered as? How do you come up with one day?
Anecdotally, people are just saying that seems to be the worst day of all. It's hard to know what basis, but in terms of people putting in their petitions or going to lawyers and saying, right, the time has come, we're going to break down.
Well, Philip, with all of the statistics pointing that way, you would think that we would sort of be more familiar with some guidelines of how to survive Christmas with our families intact.
I think that what we find is there's a sort of magnifying glass, because it's like a sort of weekend that goes on for 2 or 3 weeks. You know, you've got the time, the work pressures aren't there to look at how well or badly the relationship's going, but it's a microscope. You know, you micro-examine it. I think also it's a difficult time of the year. In fact, I think the most depressing day of the year also occurs about the first week of January, as it's worked out by weird psychologists who also have a degree in mathematics. And undoubtedly, it's a time of the year when we are lower in spirits. You know, I'm just coming out of a cold, many people are ill. There's an awful lot of reaction to the lack of light. There's the fact that Christmas itself is a highly stressful activity. God knows why we put ourselves through it at one level. But, you know, you're attempting to roast a perfect piece of poultry and invite a bunch of potential food critics. Who needs it at that level?
What about this thing with who you invite at Christmas time? Because, I mean, often you find people spending time with relatives who, dare I say, they may not want really to be with.
Time of the year.
But I mean, is the moral of the story that really you should spend it with the people you want to spend it with, and that way you'd avoid the problems, but then you'd insult people? Well, it's one of those ones.
We're living up to all sorts of expectations and rules which are difficult, and I think that we find that we recreate all the old tensions and conflicts. You've also got the families where they don't know who to invite, because, you know, there's a whole alphabet of families. It's not just family A and family B, his and hers and all that. There's your previously of several kinds. And so it's
Ayesha, when people come to see you in the new year and say, I want to get a divorce, what are they usually citing as the reason? Do they say Christmas was just a nightmare and that's the end, or is it relatives, or is it problems with the children? Or
it's never that it was specifically Christmas. It's just that Christmas causes all the tensions to bubble up. There's some underlying cause that preceded it. It may have been that there was a revelation of adultery before, and it's only over Christmas that it just becomes unbearable. Adultery is quite often the reason. Quite often people just say that they're just not in love anymore, and they realise that over Christmas, and it just is all too sad and too empty, or that they feel they're fighting too much, and particularly when children are around, you know, one becomes very conscious of that and of not wanting to go on putting people through that.
Can we just, Philip, give us a thought, positive thought for people worried about this forthcoming period?
Maybe feeling fractured and fractious.
Well, count to 10, celebrate difference, try not to win, try not to prove the other person's an idiot, try to get on, try to survive till January the 1st.
Sounds like working here.
Thank you very much.
Of a morning.
Thank you both very much
You're
indeed.
welcome.
Good to talk to you this morning.
Tim's here with us again.
Hi there.
Tim Walker from the Sunday Telegraph. How are you?
Not feeling too fractious.
Not yet. Do you get a bit tetchy around Christmas time?
No, certainly.